we've got a nice day. It's a little cloudy, not as blue as it has been, but still a nice day nonetheless. And today we're going to play with building a yoga flow practice. So again, I've got our little yoga book that we'll just flip and find 3 different poses, and we'll try to string them together to see if it makes sense. Sometimes it works beautifully, sometimes not. So we'll see today. So the first pose that we'll try to work into something is going to be dancer's pose. Okay, so we'll try to get that in somehow in our practice. And so those of you who are not quite sure, dancer's pose is a balance, strengthener, a back bend, and a stretch all at one time. So yay! That's going to be fun. Okay, so let's pick another one. We've got dancer's pose and cow. Yeah, so that's going to be really good to open up the hips. Okay, so dancer and cow, that's going to be interesting. Okay, and then for our final dancer, cow, and our double leg forward stretch. So it's our staff pose that we're folding forward. So not so bad. That's a hamstring stretch and can also open up the back a little bit. So we've got dancer, cow face pose, and forward fold, seated forward fold. Okay, we can do this. We're going to play. Let us begin. Let's see if we can do this. We'll go ahead and start sitting tall. You can have whatever props around that you want. And I'm not opposed to using a couch or a chair or a wall as a prop. But we'll start sitting very tall, and we're just going to slide. If you're sitting on something, slide off the edge. Closing your eyes and just allowing your body to drop down into the earth. Just letting your body become an anchor. Connecting. Focusing on your foundation. Maybe as you wiggle your toes. And we'll engage Mula Bandha, lifting up through the pelvic floor so you're trying not to use the bathroom. Scooping your tailbone under just a little bit. Drawing the lower tummy closer to the spine, navel inward and upward. Engaging Uddiyana Bandha. And we'll lengthen through the spine. Rolling your shoulders back and down away from the ears and sliding your hands from the knees to the hips. Opening through the heart center. Spreading the collarbones. Just going to drop your chin so it's parallel to the floor. And retract it so that the ears are in line with the shoulders. Base of the skull becomes heavy. We'll begin just to breathe with sound. Slight constriction at the back of the throat. Really just allowing the sound of the breath to wash over you. Creating an intention for the rest of our practice. Adding those 3 poses to a flow. Let's go ahead and drop your chin towards your chest. Taking the right ear to the right shoulder. Rolling the left shoulder back and down away from the ear. Bringing your chin back to your chest. The left ear to the left shoulder. Rolling your right shoulder back and down. Bringing your chin back to your chest. Bringing your head upright. Continue to roll your shoulders back and down. We'll inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Full stretch. Feeling the length, upper half of the body. And we're just going to open the sides just a little bit. So nice long line. You're just going to lift up and over to the right, maybe just a little bit. Maybe the left rib feels like it's being pulled to the left. We'll inhale to come all the way back up, tall as we can get. And imagine that you're being pulled, your right ribs are being pulled towards the right as you lift up and over to the left. We'll inhale to come all the way back to center. Lift your heart, bend your elbows back behind you. Opening up through the chest, opening the collarbones. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe you extend your arms as though you're telling your best friend, I love you this much. I love yoga this much. We'll release the arms. Taking your hands behind your back. Lace your fingers together or hold hands. Shoulders roll back and down away from the ears. Straighten your arms. So you're hugging your shoulder blades together. And this begins to get our chest, our back ready for that dancer pose. So we're already in that mindset of how we want our flow to go. You're going to lift your heart again. Let's lean to the right. Maybe bringing your bottom armpit forward, top shoulder rolls back. You're going to come all the way back to center, lifting your heart up and over, second side. And we'll come right back to center. Releasing your arms, sweeping them all the way back up. Let's go ahead and bring your hands into the heart. Releasing your arms, and again, we want to start to wake up the lower half of the body so that when we come into our cow face pose, we're kind of ready. So you're going to lift up, and we're going to lean to the right, pressing that left leg away from you. Feeling that pull just in the waist. We're going to roll forward, over to the left, pressing your right leg just away from you. And we'll come right back to center. Rolling up. Let's go ahead and lean back. Now, I'm going to keep my bolster, and if you prefer to have a bolster or a cushion, even a block underneath you, that's good. If not, that's okay. I just like it after being injured, the lumbar, it's kind of nice to have something that's very supportive that gives us a little bit more of a stretch. So I'm just going to bring my right knee just into the chest, and again, you can do this on a very flat surface. But if you have a little roll, that's fine too. Let's go ahead and flex your foot, extend the heel towards the sky. We're going to need a nice long line for our Dandasana. Reaching through the ball of the foot and flex. Maybe taking your hands to the calf muscle. Upper half is heavy, reach through the ball of the foot and flex. Maybe to the ankle. Upper half is heavy, reach through the ball of the foot and flex. Now from here, bending your knee, I want you to cross your ankle over your thigh. Scoop your tailbone under, bringing your knees towards your chest. So keeping your feet flexed. It's just going to keep your knee in a very good alignment. So even though we're opening up through the hip, I don't want your knee to suffer because it might feel fantastic at the hip. Too much in the knee. So keeping your foot flexed keeps everything in a good alignment. You take your arms out to the side and just rock, maybe back and forth. And you'll see I just kind of touch down. You don't have to. You're going to come right back to center. Now, from here, you're going to cheat your left foot towards the right knee. Maybe grab hold of it. Try to bring ankle to knee. Knee to ankle. And it might be that your left leg never comes close to the thigh. I'm just trying to stack. We can stay here. Again, we're just opening things up. Or you can take your hands to the tops of your feet and pull. So you're trying to bring your knees closer together. So even though they're not super close, you can see. Grab a hold of your ankles. Maybe pull a little bit more. Just trying to get knee over knee. And this is already getting us into our cow that we're going to come into, that cow face pose. So this is kind of the lips of the cow. We're just reclined. So I get a little bit of a pull. Just seeing how you feel. Maybe taking your hands back to the tops of the thighs or tops of the feet. We can stay here or reach your left hand out away from you. Oh, I heard that. That's our doorbell. The dogs ring. It's probably a cat somewhere or the mailman. And our second leg, we can just reach the knee out away from us. Full deep breaths. We'll slowly start to come back up. And we're going to switch sides. Let's go ahead and extend the legs. Again, this is almost our Dandasana, but of course we'll do that folded later on. I want you to bend your knees, taking your right foot to the floor. Hug your left knee into the chest. Rotate your ankle one way and then the other. Flexing your foot, extend the heel towards the sky. Reaching through the ball of the foot and flex. Ooh, taking your hands to the calf muscle. Reaching through the ball of the foot and flex. And we'll bring it up a little bit higher. Reaching through the ball of the foot and flex. And from here, we'll release, bending your knee, crossing the ankle over the thigh, and then scoop, bringing everything in. Remember to keep your ankle or your foot flexed so that you're keeping your knee in a good alignment. Arms out to the side. We might just rock a little bit. Remember, we can touch down. We don't have to. All we're after is just that little bit of a pull in the glute, the hip. So if we feel that just going a little bit away, we're good. Okay, coming right back to center. We're going to cheat your right foot towards the left. Okay, and maybe we reach down, try to grab hold of the outsides of your feet. Bring in the foot closer to the knee, knee to the ankle. And again, we're just stacking. One shin on top of the other, but because of the position that we're in, it might not quite reach. That's okay. All we're after is, can you feel something happening? If you can, we're there. If you can't, I don't know what to tell you. It hurts. Okay, so we're going to take the hands to the tops of the feet, give it a pull, trying to bring knee on top of knee. Okay, so we might not quite be there yet. Maybe take hold of the ankles, give it another little pull. So we're already getting our lips for our cow face pose ready. We can just hang out here, or we can reach your right knee away from you. Oh, really getting the quad, and this is also going to help us in dancer later on. Reaching your left knee. Oh, hip crack, it's good. Full deep breaths. You're going to come all the way back up and extend your legs. Wiggling your toes, flexing the feet. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead, bend your knees. You're going to take your feet to the floor. So from here, I'm just going to lift my hips. If you're using a bolster or a block or a blanket, pull it up a little bit higher just so that we start getting a little back bend. And again, we can even do this on the couch, just kind of hanging off the edge. We're just trying to open up the front of the body. Maybe taking your arms up and overhead. Maybe extending your legs out. Full deep breaths. From here, we might reach around. You grab or reach towards your feet. Bringing your chin to your chest will come all the way up to sit. Move your bolster or your block or your blanket, whatever prop you were using. I want you to go ahead, coming back down. You're going to bend your elbows. Take your hands under your bottom. Like you're just going to sit on your hands. Elbows are very close together. Lifting your heart. Now usually fish is done towards the end of a practice, but we're just really trying to open up the chest, getting this little back bend happening. So instead of scooping your tailbone under, I want you to lift your heart. Shoulders again back and down, and we might start to let your head fall back. Head chadi. Now we can just stay here, or press your hands forward. so that your head touches the floor. Bringing your chin to your chest, roll it down. Maybe taking your hands out from under your bottom. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel. You're going to bring your feet back to the floor. Knees into the chest, crossing your ankles and rock, and roll yourself all the way back up. The dogs and I have a deal. They're not going to, if they see a squirrel, they're not going to bark. We'll see if they hold that deal up. So, you should take your hands just behind your back. Again, you can grab hold or lace your fingers together. So you're going to roll your shoulders back and down again, away from the ears. Straighten your arms. Lifting your heart, just begin to hinge forward. Now you're still hugging your shoulder blades together. Let's see if we can lift your arms up and over. That's going to bring us down a little bit lower towards the earth. Hug the shoulder blades towards the heart again. Inhale, raising your face, your chest to come all the way back up. And we'll slowly release. Rolling your shoulders again back and down away from the ears. Let's go ahead and shift forward. You're going to come to all fours. From here, we'll come into a cat and cow. As you inhale, you're going to drop your belly towards the floor, looking up. Exhale, round your spine, chin to your chest. Push your hands down and forward. Open your upper back. Again, inhale, dropping your belly. Exhale, round your spine. And we'll come right back to center. Let's curl the right toes under, taking your knee up off the floor. And I'm just going to reach in my heel back just to open the calf muscle a little bit more, because why not? You just slowly lift your foot up off of the earth using your core. And from here, we're going to rotate the hips. So I'm going to give you my back side, sorry. Rotating the hips, stacking one side or one hip on top of the other. Maybe bending your knee. And again, you can just stay here. This is excellent. If it bothers your wrist, you can come up onto your fist. So you can just stay here, or we're going to reach back. Grabbing hold of your foot. Roll your shoulder back and down as you press your hip forward. We'll slowly release, coming back to center. Second side. Curling your left toes under, take your knee up off of the floor. Reach your heel back. Using your core, lift the leg. Rotate the hips, stacking one hip on top of the other. Maybe bend in your knee. Remember, if this is too much for the wrist, come up to your fist. And you can just stay here. This is fine. Or we'll rotate shoulder over shoulder. Reach back, grabbing hold of your foot. Press your hip forward. Roll that top shoulder back and down. Full deep breaths. And we'll slowly release, coming right back to center. Curl your toes under, reaching your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. And we're just going to pedal this out. Full deep breaths. Let's go ahead and walk your hands towards your feet. We have a forward fold. It's okay if there's a little bend in the knee. Walk your hands back out. Downward facing dog. Walking your hands in. And walk them back out. Now from here, let's bend the right knee. We can just hang out here. Maybe taking your left arm alongside the body. It's a 2.5 point balance. Or you can take your right foot up off the floor, kind of cheat it back to grab hold of the big toe. Press your hip out. Full deep breaths. And we'll release. Walking your hands towards your feet. Walk it right back out. Holding here. I want you to bend your left knee. Right arm comes alongside the body. We can stay here, 2.5 point balance. Or take your left foot up, cheat it towards the right, grab and hold of the big toe, then press your hip away from you. Full deep breaths. And we'll release. Walk your hands towards your feet. So we've got that forward fold again. And we're going to walk ourselves right back out. Now, from here, we want to get our hips in a good alignment. So I want you to take your right heel towards the sky. You're going to bend your knee, sweep your knee towards your right hand. And then we'll sit back. So you have a pigeon prep. And we can rock our hips just a little bit, just oiling out the joints. Let me face forward so you guys can see what's going on a little bit better. Now, even here, we want to protect your knee. So the pinky side of your foot is pushing into the floor. Now, do you see what I'm doing here? I am not in pigeon anymore. I'm off on this hip. So I'm going to bring my left hip forward, right hip back, so that the hip bones are square. That's what we want. Lifting your heart, bring your belly down, then the heart, then the head. Roll it all the way back up. And again, we're going to fold and roll it all the way back up. And pushing your hands down and forward. Curl your back toe under, downward facing dog. Second side. Left hip towards the ceiling. And you're going to sweep your left knee towards the left hand. Reach it back. And again, we don't want to create kind of a zigzag shape. We don't want to sit on this hip. Bring your right hip forward, left hip back. So that it's not just that we're opening through the outer thigh and the hip. We want to get your back hip flexor to open. That's really the key in back bends, is not having a super bendy spine. We need the hips, the front of the hips to be open. So you're going to lift your heart, hinging forward. Scoop your tailbone under to roll it back up. And folding forward. And rolling it all the way back up. Okay, let's sit off on your hip. Swing your back leg around. Let's go ahead and extend your legs. Nice long lines. Maybe moving the fleshy part of the seat back. You're going to inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, folding forward. Seated forward fold. So this is one of our 3 poses that we flip to in our book. And again, it's just a fun little exercise, kind of challenging your brain. How can we link these together? We can do the same with words. When you have the word of a day, how can I link this in today? We do it when restrictions are lifted. If you're doing errands throughout the day, you know, well, how do I link? I need to do all of these things. How do I link it so that it's the quickest route? It's going to take the least amount of gas. Let's go ahead and come all the way back up. And we'll release. Okay, so from here, we're going to go ahead, cross your ankles, and we're going to roll all the way back up to all fours. I'm going to turn again to the side just so you can see a little bit better. Go ahead and curl your toes under. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. You're going to raise your face, your chest coming all the way up, palms meet at the top. Bringing your hands into the heart. Now we're anchored, pushing down through the feet. should take your hands behind you. And again, lacing your fingers together or holding hands, shoulders back and down away from the ears. Straighten your arms. Lifting your heart. We're going to lean to the right. We'll come back up and over to the left. All the way back to center. Let's hinge forward. Press your hips back. Fold. Now, again, you can soften your knees should you need to. There's no point in keeping them stick straight if it's just miserable for you. But I want you to take your arms up and overhead. Hug the shoulder blades towards the heart. Raising your face, your chest, you're going to come all the way back up. And releasing your arms. Shoulders rolling back and down, maybe shaking your arms out just a little bit. Notice how you feel. So we're going to start linking more and more and more together. So we should feel pretty warm. Strong legs, core, heart is open. Let's go ahead and stand just in Tadasana. Pressing down through the feet, lift through the pelvic floor, shoulders back and down. Let's go ahead and bring your hands together in front of the heart. We're going to exhale to prepare. Inhale, release your arms down. Float them back and up, full stretch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees. Now, you can step or hop back to a plank. Full deep breaths. Let's go ahead and lower down. Now, you can come down knees, chest, and chin, and then scoop it up. Shoulders roll back and down. So there's a big difference from this, where I'm crunching my neck, to this, where I'm actually lifting. Reach back, hips to your heels, pull the floor towards you. Scoop your tailbone under, rolling up to stand on your shins. Well, inhale. Let's take the right leg forward. Bend your front knee. Now, is your knee over your ankle, or is your knee way over your toe? Let's see if we can keep the knee over the ankle. You're going to take your hands just behind you, lace your fingers together, shoulders back and down. You're going to straighten your arms. And we'll release. Curling your back toes under, take your knee off the floor. Downward facing dog. Inhale, shift it forward to plank. Now again, you can come down knees, chest, chin, or keep everything nice and tight and bend your elbows, lowering through Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhale, raise your face, your chest, shoulders are back and down. Exhale, sit back on your heels, forehead to the mat. Pull the floor towards you. Scoop your tailbone under, roll it up. You're going to take your left foot forward, almost as far forward as you can. Bend your knees, taking your arms up. Really getting that hip flexor to open. Releasing your arms, taking your hands just behind your back. Lace your fingers together, shoulders back and down. We'll lean. And we'll exhale, release. Curling your back toes under. I heard it too. Take your knee up off of the earth. Set that downward facing dog. Pedaling your feet out. I know, I heard it too. And we're going to slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. It's okay. Raising your face, your chest, to come all the way up. Palms meet at the top. Bringing your hands into your heart. Lifting. You're going to reach your right leg back. Now, it could be that your dancer pose is just to keep your toe touching the floor. You could keep your heart lifted, and like you're hitchhiking, taking your thumb out to the side, we could stay here. This is a beautiful pose. It could even be that you're here. Still beautiful. We're still in a nice position. We're balancing, a little strength, a little stretch. If you would like more, you can bend your knee. You can stay here or reach to the inside of that foot. Shoulders rolling back and down, lifting your heart. Kick your foot into the hand, maybe shifting forward. We'll come all the way back up. Let's go ahead and release. Little back bend, and exhale. Let's fold. Full deep breaths. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. As you inhale, raise your face, your chest to come all the way back up. Palms meet at the top. Bringing your hands together to the heart. Second side. Or you might just reach your left foot back. Left hand, we're hitchhiking, taking it back, and we can just stay here. We could stay here. And this is beautiful. We're still dancing. We just haven't quite lifted up yet. You could bend your knee, reach to the inside of the foot, kick your foot into your hand, just like we did when we were on all fours. Full deep breaths. We'll slowly release. And exhale, fold forward. Let's go ahead, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Let's take a step back with the right leg. Drop your knee. Now, from here, let's go ahead and take your left foot towards the right. So we're back in that pigeon. Now, here's where things might get a little interesting. Okay, I'm going to turn to face you so that you're not thinking, what is she doing? Okay, so from here, I am going to sit on my hip. So that left hip, we're going to drop to the floor. Your back leg, let's sweep it around. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, and cross. Now, it might be that you are just here. This is okay. It might be that you can try to bring your knees one on top of the other. And we don't want the feet towards the hips. You want them almost in the horns of a bull. Okay? We might do this step by step a little bit better on the other side. But I want you to hold your legs in place. Hips are square, and you're going to lift up. Okay? And we can just stay here. This is beautiful. So cow face, why is it called cow face? Of course, these are the lips. Okay? You might even think of your torso as the nose. If you would like an ear for your cow face, you might take your left arm up, bend your elbow, almost like you're just going to give yourself a pat on the back. Now, we haven't really worked with this a lot, so it might be you just stay here. You could even grab hold of the elbow, give it a little pull. Just hang out here. This is nice. You're balancing or stretching. It could be that you take your right arm, thumb points down. You're going to reach it back behind you, bend your elbow, and you're going to try to reach up so you've got that little itch you're trying to scratch, grabbing hold of your hand, or grab hold of your t-shirt. You can always grab hold of a towel or a necktie also. So here it's like we've got one ear up, one ear is down. Cow face. We're going to slowly release. Now, from here, what we're going to do is to roll back. Okay, almost like you're just going to sit back so that you can take your feet up. What is that? Dandasana, reaching up and over, forward fold. Raising your face, your chest. We're going to come all the way back up. And we'll release. Okay, so how to get into it on the second side, which is going to be a lot smoother, but I still want you to transition to start out with. So I want you to bring your left knee in. You're going to take it over your right leg. Okay. So we're trying to get knee on top of knee, just to see how it feels. And it might be that this is as far as you go. Or we could cheat your right foot towards the left. Okay. So again, we don't want the feet to come towards your hips. You want them like the horns of a bull. We also don't want one hip to be up really high. So if this is the lips of your cow, maybe it's an Ola's cow, it's snarling a little bit, that's fine. If you can feel it, we're good. So now we've got our lips, even though it's the horns of a bull, it's the lips of the cow. No sense. Nice and tall. We can stay here and sit very tall. There's a big difference in the hips. And this is beautiful. And the advanced version is if we sit here and smile. If we want to add the ears to your cow, you're going to take your right arm all the way up. Give yourself a pat on the back. Maybe we grab hold of the elbow. And we can just hang out here. Or you can take your left arm, thumb is down, reach it back, bend your elbow, and we're just trying to get that itch. Oh, it's so itchy. Maybe grab and hold of your fingers. Full deep breaths. And of course, you can always grab hold of your shirt, a towel. And we will slowly release. Leaning back. Dandasana. Seated forward fold will lift up and over. Raising your face, your chest to come all the way back up. Release. Okay, so we're going to add a trick the next time we come into this flow. Okay, because we want to get from one cow to the other. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I guess we can come into it the opposite way, low from bottom up. So we're going to bring the right knee in. Cross it over the left. So this was our first one that we did. Your left foot is going to come around. Okay. Now, hopefully the hips feel a little bit more open since we did this reclining and now we're doing it sitting upright. So here's a little yoga party trick. So if you have some friends over, after restrictions are lifted and you're just playing yoga together, here's a little trick that's it's more it looks more impressive than it really is. So what I'm going to do, I'll show it to you quickly, and then we'll break it down, okay? So I'm just going to spin. Ta-da! Okay, so to break this down, okay, all that you're going to do is to rock forward. Now you can take your hands back behind you, almost like you're going to all fours. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees. So we've made a big X with our legs. Now, I'm going to go to the leg that's in front. That's my leader. So now I've got one foot in front of the other. I'm going to keep going, keep turning in that same direction until, hello. I'm going to keep going. Now I've got opposite leg is forward. And I'm going to keep turning back to the camera. So now I've got that big X with my legs again. Bend your knees. And we sit back. Okay, so that's all it is to rock, spin, and sit. And rock, spin, and sit. Ta-da! Dandasana. We'll lift it up and over. Okay, now I think we're ready for a little bit faster flow. So everything that we've been doing, we'll do again just in this flow. I'm gonna reconfigure my mat so that you can see a little bit better, because I feel like I'm hidden back here. Okay, gotta work with what we got. And this is usually how I do my practice, is just this way. It just doesn't translate very well. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and come just to the top of your mat. Okay, ready, it's gonna be good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bring your hands together in front of your heart, anchoring down. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, release your arms down, flip them back and up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees, step or hop back to plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin, through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Shoulders back and down. Sit back on your heels, forehead to the mat. Scoop your tailbone, rolling it up. Right leg is forward, low lunge. Taking your arms back behind you, lace your fingers together, little back bend. Exhale to fold. Let's curl the back toes under. Take your knee up off the floor, giant step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raising your face, your chest to come all the way back up. Hands into the heart. Right foot steps back, just a touch. Right thumb, we're hitchhiking. Stay here, or take your foot up, maybe catch it. Opposite arm reaches up. Kick your foot into your hand as you hinge forward. Now, let go of your foot, giant step back. And from here, we're gonna take your left foot over towards the right. Lifting your heart. Fold forward. Scoop your tailbone under to roll it back up. Let's sit on the hip. Sweep your back leg around. Full deep breaths. Left arm comes up. Bend your elbow. Wrap it around. Grab and hold of your hands, your shirt. We'll slowly release. Top leg, that's the one we're going to go towards. So we spin to the second side. Coming into our nice seated position. Right arm will come up. And again, we don't have to, we can just hold on to the leg. Bend your elbow. Reach it around. Grab and hold. We'll slowly release, leaning back, extend, inhale, and exhale, folding. Now we still have a second side. We'll inhale to come back up. Cross your ankles. We already did this at the very beginning. Lean forward. You can come to all fours or just hop to come to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Step or hop back to plank. Lower it down. Up dog. Sit back on your heels, forehead to the mat. Scoop your tailbone to roll it up. Left leg coming forward. Bend your knee, low lunge. We'll release. Take hold of the arms. Opening through that hip. And we'll release. your back toes under. Take your knee up off the floor. Let's go ahead and step back, downward facing dog. Let's bring your right knee forward. Pigeon. And we'll fold. Roll it up, sitting off on your hip. You're going to bring your left leg all the way around. And again, it might be that that's your, maybe you got an Elvis cow. Elvis is fine. You can just have the queen of cows instead of the king of rock. Or you can pull it out a little bit more, drop your hip towards the floor, lifting tall. Right arm comes up, bend your elbow. Left arm is going to reach around, bend, grab and hold your hands, your shirt. We haven't been doing this, but we could always lean forward and it gets to the bottom shoulder. It's up to you. We'll release. It's that woman on TikTok, that's your business. If you want to lean forward and kill your shoulder, that's your business. Love her. Okay, we're following that front leg. So we're just going to turn around all the way to the second side. Full deep breaths, lifting your heart. Lean back. Dandasana. Hands to the heart. Full deep breaths. Reaching your arms all the way up. And we'll fold forward. So those were our 3 poses. We took 3 poses and worked them in the body before we actually did them. Strung them together to make a sequence. So you can build your practice off of anything. And again, what we used was the Yoga Bible by Christina Brown. It's not actually a Bible, but it just gives you in-depth what you're working, why, counter poses, how to start it, things like that. So again, it's a really nice book. I want you to go ahead and come back up. Scoop your tailbone under. You're going to roll all the way back. Use your core. Taking your arms up and overhead, reaching from your fingertips to your toes. Let's go ahead and take your arms just out to the sides, palms face up. Now again, we want to kind of wring out the spine a little bit. So I want you to bend your knees, feet to the floor. Bring your knees into your chest. Let's take them over to the left, just up and over. Let's say that your back is pretty tight. You don't quite reach the floor. You could take a block, a cushion, a pillow, a blanket in between the legs or underneath the legs. And this kind of gives you that little bit extra help. Scooping your tailbone under to come to center. And then up and over to the right. Full deep breaths, really wringing out the spine. You're going to slowly come right back to center, taking your feet to the floor one at a time. I'm just going to turn so I can see you a little bit better. Now, you can take your feet up onto the couch, up against the wall. You can take your legs all the way out in front of you, extending the legs completely flat, or bring your cushion underneath you. And extend your legs. It's just a little bit easier on the hips and the back. Maybe even bringing the soles of the feet together. It just depends what feels the best to your body. So I want you just to turn your palms to face the ceiling. And we're just going to surrender and really focus on how your body feels. So we did lengthen the backs of the legs in our dancer pose, in our seated forward fold. We really opened it up. We also strengthened the legs because we had to balance. We definitely opened up the hips and the outer thighs when it came to that cow face pose. We worked the core, the upper half of the body, coming into back bends in our dancer pose. And again, a back bend, side lanes are so good just to lift your heart. We just feel open, we feel lighter, a little bit happier. So I want you just to stay here, taking full deep breaths. Now the point of Shavasana, our corpse pose, is not to fall asleep, but it happens. And if it happens, it's okay. You might have needed it. The purpose of Shavasana is to find stillness. And you know, a lot of times we hear that, empty your mind. We're human beings. It's almost impossible to do that. Even if you've been practicing your entire life, it's impossible. Your brain doesn't want to get bored, so it was always going to try to distract you. The point is just to be present and be still. So when your mind starts to drift off of, when is the band going to lift? Oh, I need toilet paper. What's going to happen here? I need to pay this bill. I need to do this. Take a moment and witness that you are freaking out, and then allow your body to be heavy. Try to focus only on the weight of the body and the sounds of the breath. And again, we're human beings, so it's going to happen again. Oh, I can't wait to finish that episode on Netflix, what I'm binging, or my book. I can't wait to get back to it. Oh, I need to call my grandma. It's going to happen. When it does, come back to the sensations, the heaviness in the body, the sounds of the breath. Trying to let the head, your skull, become especially heavy. Maybe your scalp falls back away from the head, and your forehead smooths out. Allow the eyes to sink back into your skull. The outer edge, the outer corner of your eye grows long and flat. And the inside corner sinks back into the skull. You let the muscles of the face sink back. Separate the back row of teeth. And just feel the weight of your skull. The heavier we let the skull become, the less work the neck has to do. When we finally give up that control, that work for the neck, it's so freeing. So we can let the shoulders get especially heavy. Feel the length and the weight of the arms, anchored at the forearms and your knuckles. Softness at the armpit, length at the side body. Feeling the weight at your hips, your bottom. Feel the length and the weight of your legs. And just feeling the heaviest points of the body where we're tethered to the earth. Your skull, your shoulders, your forearms, your knuckles. Back of the heart, hips, bottom, your heels and calf muscles. Each time we exhale, we feel heavier, sinking a little bit deeper into the earth. And then we'll focus on the lightest points of the body. Your ears, your nose, your neck, armpits, fingertips, your waist, hip flexors, kneecaps, toes. Each time you inhale, these parts of the body get lighter, so they're floating upward. And as you exhale, the heaviest parts drop into the earth a little bit deeper. Inhale, expanding and lifting, becoming light. Exhale, surrendering, emptying, anchoring. dance within the body without having to balance in our cosmic dancer pose. Just the breath itself is a dance, filling and emptying. And our bodies are so incredible. Everything that we can withstand, we can do. Capable of healing ourselves, fighting off injury and illness. Being present. And we might even take a moment here just to send a piece of your happiness, your peace, your well-being to someone who might be fighting sickness, maybe even losing the battle, maybe to family members who have lost a loved one, whether you know them or not. And then again, without turning to worry, be present in this moment. Recognizing that your life is a gift. It's such a gift to be here, to take up space, to move. What can we do today to minister to others? You know, a phone call. Maybe sending someone a gift, whether it's a DoorDash meal or something, flowers. I'm thinking of you. This is a time where we really want to bless one another. Let each other know as we reach out that you're not alone. And being present in each moment. I do invite you to stay here another 5, maybe 10 minutes. Letting go of the burden of worry, fear. Being present in this moment. I do thank you so much for joining, for watching today. Or if you're watching it on another day, thanks for checking out the video. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want to try. And I hope you do have a blessed rest of your day.